Let's get into this. Paul George's father joined him on the podcast. They're talking about a variety of different topics. As the podcast goes on, it eventually gets to the topic of why did Paul George leave the Clippers? His father starts speaking on the reasoning, and I was looking for Paul George to chime in and give his opinion or maybe a different perspective to aid on to his father, but that didn't happen. It was a short segment. I will play the clip for y'all in just a bit. And as I'm listening to his father speak, at first it seemed like he was a little bit hesitant to really get into the reasoning why. He definitely didn't bite his tongue, to say the least. Some may view it as him throwing the Clippers organization under the bus. Some may think it's just harsh critique. Others may feel like he's keeping it real, it's out of bounds. I don't know. But as he's speaking, I'm looking for the reasoning. Okay, I can tell you're upset with what the Clippers are doing. I'm thinking in my mind, it's got to be the money. The offer wasn't right. Then sure enough, that's what he admitted. It was the pay. The offer came across as disrespectful. He even went as far as to say they were going to go to the Lakers, go over next door, but they didn't have the money to do it. So that didn't happen. I'm going to play y'all the clip now so you can decipher it for yourself. And then I'm going to come back and react and give you my opinion on everything that was said in this overall situation. Here we go.
Wow. It was hurting. I mean, it was like I felt like they stabbed us in the back, because I thought Paul did a whole lot for the team. Far as in the fan base, the fans was there. He was there. I think he gave them 110%. And what he was asking, it wasn't a whole lot.
Right.
But they seen something different. Now, but I didn't want him just to take anything, so his whole thing, he does stand up for what he believes in. And so he felt that was, that was a bunch of bull that they came at him with. And I wasn't going to sugarcoat it either. I'm like, I'm behind you 100%.
Back on.
No, it was more get what you deserve.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. He put in work for it, and I felt that he should have got paid for it.
And you right.
Like we didn't stutter about it. We didn't, well, let me think about it. Like what? They come at you like this?
Right.
Oh no, you got to go.
You got to go.
I was looking at, okay, well, we're going to go next door then. But they already spent too much money. What I'm saying?
My initial reaction when I heard this was, yo, no offense, but it makes sense why they wouldn't want to commit long-term to Paul George and give him a lot of money. They've tried this over the course of several years. It just hasn't been working. It's time to move on, try something else. Now, that was my thought process in terms of we're going to rebuild the squad, really start over, just take our losses. But that's not apparently their approach. They still believe that they can win a championship. And if that's the case, they'll have to prove people like me wrong, since I didn't see them as a contender even with Paul George as the years went on. Now they lost him. They haven't replaced him with any significant piece that is near his level. Kawhi Leonard is still dealing with a lot of injuries. Basically, if they really wanted to still contend, their best option was just to give the money to Paul George and run it back again, not lose him for nothing. Now you have a Kawhi Leonard, again, who I was mentioning with the injuries, as we all know, a James Harden who's not quite on the same level when it comes to him playing in, let's say, a Houston. That was really the best version that we saw of him. They lost Russell Westbrook. This all seems strange to me. I'm going to read you a quote that was said just over a month ago from the owner of the Clippers, Steve Ballmer. It ties into what Paul George's father was speaking about. Then I'm going to read you something that Tyronn Lue said, the head coach, just recently. So this is what Steve Ballmer said in July, I believe. I love Paul. Let's start with Paul as a human being. Paul is a great human being, and I really enjoyed my opportunity to get to know Paul's family. So on a personal level, I hated it, him leaving. He goes on to say, from a basketball perspective, Paul is a fantastic player, future Hall of Famer, but we knew we needed to continue to get better. And with the new CBA, what tools, what flexibility can be restricted, we made Paul what I consider a great offer. But it was a great offer in terms of us thinking about how to win championships. It wasn't what Paul wanted. That aligns with the story Paul George's father was explaining. It sounded like the Clippers came to them and said, hey, look, we're trying to get a championship. We need Paul to take a bit of a pay cut. Then that way we could extend the roster more, add pieces, the new CBA. We're looking to really strengthen this core that we have. Paul George obviously wasn't having that. He wanted his money. And at that point, that's when the Clippers should have just said, you know what, let's hit the reset button. This is not working out. But let me read this Tyronn Lue quote that he said very recently. They're very consistent in this position of we are still moving forward. Tyronn Lue said, when you lose a guy of Paul George's stature, instantly people think, oh, they can't win or they're not going to be competitive. But that just challenges me even more. Okay, people are counting us out or people don't think we're going to be good. That right there just gives me an extra dose of motivation. I can't wait to prove everybody wrong. Look, man, if Clippers win a championship with this core group of players in the near future, I'll be the first to make a video and tip my hat and say I did not see this happening at all. I didn't believe in it. Though I must say I'm wondering, did the Clippers offer what they gave Paul George, given the fact that they gave up 5 first-round unprotected picks to get him a superstar in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a really solid player in Danilo Gallinari that can get you 18, 20 points? And so maybe they're saying to themselves, we paid an arm and a leg, to put it very, very nicely, to say the least, just for one player. Now we're going to throw him a huge contract. Is it all worth it just for this one guy? Then on top of that, if it wasn't enough already, they're probably thinking too, look, how do we tell our fan base, the media, we traded all these pieces away, mortgaged our whole future, didn't even see a finals appearance. Now we're just going to rebuild and call it a day. Those things both are probably playing on their mind, ultimately making them think we just got to keep going, even if it looks bleak. With all that said, where do you guys who are listening stand on this? Do you agree with Paul George's father that the Clippers did him dirty? They should have paid him the money. His son did everything that he could for the organization. Or do you agree with the Clippers standpoint? Look, we can't pay you this money. It is what it is. We're moving forward. We need to take a pay cut in order to win a title. Then do you even believe they can win a title? Do you agree with me that this is not going to amount to a championship? Or do you see the other way? Nah, Kawhi Leonard is good. James Harden, they're going to retool, get to an NBA Finals and get it done. Hit me up in the comment section. I would love to know your opinion. And as always, salute for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace. Wait, one more thing. If you made it this far, I want you to check the description in this video. There's an Amazon purchase for the Kobe Bryant Mamba Mentality book. If you're a real basketball fanatic, you want to get the inside scoop on somebody as great as Kobe, how his mind worked, how he looked at the game. This is a great book that you should check out. All right, now I'm out.
I remember when I was in Indy and we drafted Kawhi, I was a little confused by it because I was the 2 guard there and Kawhi was my position. And I was a bit nervous for that competition that was coming. But if we fast forward that and knowing what I know now, being the player that I am, the player he developed into, I wish we would have kept that pick and I wish we would have progressed together. And we could have did some special things in Indiana. But it's great to fast forward to where we at now.